Hi again, different background. I do travel quite a bit. This video is about improvement and accountability. Now, these apply to pretty much everything in life, though I will keep the video fencing focused. What I mean by it applies to anything in life is we really look at improvement as a project. Improving in fencing is getting to the next stage in your fencing ability. And to accomplish any big project, my main piece of advice is to do something on that project every day. I'm not kidding, every day. Last year, I presented an arts and science display, as it were, of an entire apothecary shop. It was 14 feet by 7 feet. I had a full outfit. I had the persona. I had the ingredients. I had the like weird things that one would find in an apothecary shop. It was deeply researched. Every single part of it was researched down to the shop clock that I had in the shop for an appropriate 1540s Venetian apothecary shop. I conceived of that idea in August. By October, I had made myself the promise that I was going to finish this thing for the end of March, and I started doing something on it every day. Now, some days I was exhausted, I maybe was on the road, and all I managed to do was basically 5 minutes of research into the next item, and that 5 minutes may have just been looking through pictures of artifacts online in the Met archives until I found something that looked like a thing that I might want to make. And some days it was sitting down for 2 hours and painting a giant poster. Other days it might have been getting together with friends and working on, the walls of the tents. But every single day I worked something on it, because what that does is it keeps your goal in mind and it keeps you moving forward towards that goal. So in terms of improving fencing, if your goal is to get better, ideally you'd have some idea of what that looks like. But even sort of general ideas of I want to be able to flow better and understand my movements better, execute my movements better, is actually all right for fencing, because there is no single accomplishment that you can work towards. Even if you're thinking, oh, I've got this big tournament coming up and I want to win that tournament, that's my goal, you can't necessarily work just towards that, because you never know, on any given day someone else might outwit you and beat you, and so you might not actually achieve that goal. But by that point, are you fencing better? Are you actually able to execute the moves that you want to execute? And your moves are you've got your first intention attack, second intention attack, all the way down. Goodness, there's some people who I can beat fairly regularly, but I beat them because I have 7 intention attacks and I'm able to parry them until I execute all of those, and then eventually by like the 7th time I beat them. Anyways, so to improve fencing, what are the sorts of things you can do every day? Well, certainly you can go to fencing practice. You can work out. Both cardio and weights can be useful for fencing. Don't just do weights to the point where your muscles are so big that you lose mobility, but certainly having some muscles stronger, having yourself physically fitter, does help. Says the person who right now the shape I'm in is most closely resembles a circle. But even I know that if I was more fit, it would be better for me, and I am working on that. But some days maybe you don't have time or energy for that. And all you can do is maybe watch a few videos of fencing and try to analyze them. Or, while sitting on a couch with, a wooden stick, executing some moves just to, remind your body of what these things are like. Or if you can do better than sitting on a couch, do them in front of a mirror, but every day. This really gets that mindset in you of, I am a sword fighter. This is what I do. This is what's important to me. Now, that leads right into accountability, because if you don't do this every day and you find that, I'm not really that upset about the fact that I'm not doing this every day, that's okay. It's insightful. It's insightful to show you sort of what's most important to you. Me, I have tried several times to get myself to drink X amount of water in a day, and I don't reach my goals, and I'm not upset about it. So I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that's not super important to me. It turns out that what was important to me is that overnight, that my mouth and my eyes don't get super duper dry. And so I realized later that what I did subconsciously was turn that goal into, I am going to hydrate before I go to sleep, even though if it means that, more often than not, I'm up at 3 o'clock in the morning to run to the bathroom. But it was important to me to not have super dry eyes and mouth. And how I achieved that was by making sure I was hydrated at the end of the day. But if you really do care, then it helps to be accountable. And there are 3 ways to sort of break this down. One is to be accountable to yourself. And this works for many people, but not for everyone. And it's okay if it doesn't work for you. You kind of need practice about the accountability to yourself. And to be accountable to yourself, you have to develop a positive voice, your own voice inside your head, that when you accomplish, you compliment yourself. Hey, you did it. You did the thing you said you were going to do yesterday. Hey, you did it for the last 5 days. Good job. Good job, Rosie. Way to go. And use that voice to encourage yourself. But if that doesn't work for you, then what might work for you is to have an accountability buddy. Now, this could be someone who's not on the same journey as you, but who is going to be that outer voice, who's going to be proud of you, happy for you, happy with you when you do accomplish your goal. You can do this via text messaging. If you've got a friend like this, they, like I said, don't have to be accountable to the same thing as you, but maybe you can be accountability buddies in that you are their accountability buddy for something else that they're interested in. Maybe they're the ones who want to drink 2 liters of water a day. If you're not quite able to be that voice for yourself, and you don't have an accountability buddy, or you're not comfortable yet having an accountability buddy, the third option is I could be your accountability buddy. I assure you, I will be very happy for you, very happy of you and for you when you do achieve your goals. And if you don't achieve your goals, I tend to be very positive about that, in that, no, you're not bad because you didn't achieve your goals, but hey, you know what? The past is the past. Let's move on from that. Do you think you can accomplish your goal this week 5 times out of 7? Let's go for that. Or if you just want some tidbits about how to speak positively to yourself or to your friend, just hit me up. Related to this video about that voice of encouragement, my alter ego actually has some videos that are related to that. So I'm going to try to figure out how to get them linked to this YouTube channel, or maybe I'll just post the link to my alter ego down below. I'm not very good at using the YouTubes, but this gets my message out there, and I hope this helps. See you soon.